I remember when we were young, parents were always saying, dress properly, dress properly. When the destroy came, the first time the destroy, when the destroy came in, I think in the 90s or the 80s, I don't remember. I mean, usually it was the kind of kids who were wearing the destroy jean. I know that it's now fashion, but I remember that in the old days, it wasn't. My aunt, she would come and pick your jean and she would sew it, like, because the destroy jean at the time was a category of kids. And usually parents were like, no, they won't. I remember even my mom, when my brother was dressed, she would make sure that, no, you have to dress properly. That was when we were young. When we were young, okay? But then when you become adult, you do whatever you want. But when you have base, people knew their kids in the school. They have teachers, okay, for like 1, 2, maybe not more than 8 students in the classroom. No, not more. And guess what? Okay, they were coming from Europe, America, Asia, and few black students. And I said the video about the black community that is not really powerful, okay? We have no power economically. It's true. We have no power. We are not powerful. And you could count the number of black students in that school. And if they were Africans, okay, we know usually who these Africans, I don't know, usually they are from kids from government, and we know in Africa that when you are in the government, you know where the money is coming from, okay? We know people who are in the African government, usually, okay, we know where the money is coming from, okay? When the money is coming from, we know, okay, we know. So, not judging, but it's a reality. It's a reality. Okay, the money is not from them, the money is from the country. But there were I will say not more than, I didn't see them, many of them. So for me, there is things to understand there. As a black people here, if you watch me, I think the best thing for us as African is to really invest in our children. The kind of school, I don't tell you to go send your school to Eton or whatever, if you don't have money for Harvard or Princeton, I don't know, all this Oxford University. But if you can, probably it's a good way to invest in our children, to send them in good school, expensive private schools. So what they can learn, and they have opportunities coming out of these big schools, okay? And we can start with public, then we can switch later on when you have enough money to now transfer them. We learn. But I'm thinking, as I'm here, I'm really thinking about later on, sending my son, like saving some money and sending my son to a private school. This is my dream. A very good school. What I saw on TV marked me so much. You can not fail. And coming out of this kind of school, you have so much opportunity. Like seriously, black, white, whatever. It's really important for us to invest in our children as black people, a black African as well, especially for us. 2, I've learned something as I watched this video, and I saw how the student, when the teacher were entering the classroom, like the big auditorium, because they all rush to the auditorium. They are very strict, huh? They stand up, thing that we used to do before, because in the school where I was, the Catholic school, high school where I was, when the teacher entered, you stand up. I don't know if, because later on when I went to the other school, I left to go to the public high school later on, honestly, we didn't stand up. But the public school before, we used to have this habit of when the, it teach a certain manner of living. Kids of real rich people, their kids are really in manner and they're very respectful and polite. Because people always want to portray them as bad kids. It's not true. And they are really lovable kids to be around them. Lovable because they are so reserved, they have good manners. Okay? Yeah. So what we do for us as Black is to invest in our children, give them all the opportunity possible. I'm thinking, and I'm going to be writing about it for my son, because the moment you have a child, the moment you have to do more, like to think about your children. Classes, sports, passion, arts, everything that you can give them possibility to, to practice, to do whatever. Because they will have, it will be like a possibility of two options. If that one doesn't work for them, it's for them the studies or whatever they do with time do not work for them, then they have a second option for them, like to back up the possibility in their passion. They can, can like back up the situation. You see sometimes in Hollywood, you have people who go to school, who are actors, but they were still going to school and finish further the studies. Okay, and that sometimes if the Hollywood career didn't work for them, acting career didn't work for them, they were also doing this stuff. This is someone I want to talk about, Serena Williams, because even in sport, okay, Serena Williams, for me, she's the goal. Okay, she's really someone who must teach masterclass in the way she does things, and she did things.